Yo, what is up, everybody? Back again. Y'all already know what
Nail,
it is.
play that shit.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man, this man got the background.
You already know, man. Easy money. Well, it should be easy money, but like
Look,
I
knock
said,
on wood.
Look at the rookies we drafted. We got Dean and we got Davis. Two from Florida. It doesn't get better than that shit.
you gotta put that shit up.
As Ricky Bobby said, if you ain't first,
You're
you're
last.
last.
Exactly.
Second place is at 2.
Definitely gonna make up for it.
Trust me. I need a sports podcast, man. I need it. West, but we're gonna flip it to the NFC side, man. And honestly, I'm a little excited to actually see how the NFC West unfolds this year, man. And we're gonna actually start talking off with the reigning NFC champion, the San Francisco 49ers. Because I don't know what's going on over there, but there is such a thing as a Super Bowl hangover. And I'm not gonna lie, I could be over exaggerating because they do still have weapons. They still do have Shanahan. I think the 49ers are about to hit a mean-ass Super Bowl hangover coming off that overtime loss in the Super Bowl last year. Am I crazy for saying that or not? Because they got the whole Ayuk drama right now. Every day it's like, oh, we've agreed on a deal. No, we haven't. Or we're trading him here. No, we're not. He's staying. Oh, yeah, actually, we're letting him be open, to trade, and we're seeing which teams want to give us offer. I don't know what they got going on right now.
Yeah, I don't know what they got going on right now, but they need to figure it out because I don't know, man. This they need to just make their mind up. You gonna keep? Well, it sounds like he doesn't want to stay. So if you're gonna trade him, just go ahead and trade him. He wants to be a Steeler or he wants to be a whatever he wants to. Just go ahead and trade him. Like this needs to end already. Like it's honestly getting kind of annoying. Like just going on social media and just like seeing it every single day. You got like you don't even got like the main guys. You know, like Ian Rappaport or Adam Schiff. You don't got them like reporting on. You got guys like that Dove guy
Doug
or
Freeman or NFL Sports and News, like
or ML football. You know, those three that just keep on repeating or whatever. But yeah, come on, just go ahead and get them out the way, whatever. Now Super Bowl hangover, I can see it, but I can't see them like just completely just falling out the playoffs.
they won't.
Okay.
If they fall out the playoffs, that means somebody had to get injured.
Yeah, someone had to get
Kittle, McCaffrey, someone got injured if they don't make the playoffs.
Yeah, no, I can definitely see I can definitely see like Super Bowl hangover or whatever. But honestly, this year I'm really interested to see like how improved has Brock Purdy got from last year to compared to like this year. So that's gonna be one of my main things I'm gonna be looking at for the 49ers or whatever. Then also how's that defense hanging on or whatever. I know they got rid of Eric Armstead. I forgot where he went to though. I know he
Not too, but he definitely is out.
Yeah, I think he might be with the Colts.
That sounds right. Honestly, let me see something.
Was it Colts or was it like not the Titans? It was like I forgot.
I feel like you're right about the Colts, but they definitely did lose him in the offseason. And like it was also because they paid Bosa all that money last year, and then Bosa skipped training camp because he was holding out for the contract. And then he had, it wasn't like a bad year, by normal standards, but by Bosa standards, that was his worst year ever. So he definitely got to bounce back this year. And shoot, it's an election year.
No.
Hey, if Trump don't win, whatever happens, he gonna be balling for Trump come November time frame.
For sure, he finna go crazy.
Yeah, Oh, it's the Jaguars. That's where he went.
Jaguars.
Jaguars.
I knew it was like an AFC South
AFC
team,
South.
but yeah, I couldn't put it together. But yeah, yeah. I don't know. It's gonna be interesting to see. I also want to see how that rookie receiver dude from Florida, what's his name? Pearsall, yeah. So yeah, I don't know. We're gonna see. I think Christian McCaffrey takes a step back this year, though.
I think so too, but it's not even necessarily like him taking a step back. I think they just gotta use him less. Like they put a lot of carries on his body last year, and he stayed healthy relatively, but like that takes a toll on your body. Like we know running backs have like some of the shortest career spans in the NFL. So in order to preserve him for like a playoff time, but like you can't utilize him as much as you were last year. And then on top of that, also what the problem is, not a lot of people are talking about it because Ayuk is getting so much news and media coverage. Trent Williams hasn't shown up to training camp either, y'all, because he's also holding out because he wants to be the highest paid LT. And he deserves every penny because he's the best left tackle in football, and he's been that for years. You know, basically, damn near his whole career, we really being honest. So it's like, and they went and re-up Christian McCaffrey's contract. And now, you know, you're probably going to have to pay Trent Williams because you do have wide receiver talent besides Ayuk. So you make the argument that you pay him over Ayuk. So now it's just like, yeah, what is the deal with Ayuk? Let's figure that out. Ayuk, I think it's partially him too, because it's like he want to be traded, but he don't want to be traded to a team that sucks. Okay, dude, like that's not how it works. Like you either gonna take the pay cut and be with the winning team in San Francisco, or if you want to just truly get paid, that more than likely means you're not going to a relatively good team. Like that just is what it is in today's landscape of the NFL. So pick what you want to do. Like, do you want to make 17 million more in a 4-year contract? More likely, with whatever contract you get, go do that. Like, hey, never be mad at these players for getting their money because they tax like crazy, and they don't even see damn near half of it most times. So like, go get your money while you can, because if you got a career-ending injury today, the owners would cut you and not blink by tomorrow.
Oh, in a heartbeat.
So definitely go get your money if that's what you want to do. But if that isn't what you want to do, like, let's make a decision here.
Yeah.
And so you got that happening. And then on the flip side, I think what's going to be also like something that's going to be a big story to watch. Brock Purdy he's not in his contract year, but after this year, he'll be eligible for a contract extension. And obviously, the reason the 49ers have been able to put this super team around him is because he's literally playing for the league minimum, like $960K salary in California. Dude is broke as hell. Like, obviously, he got more money than the general American, but he's broke as hell in NFL standards. And so it's really a contract year for Brock Purdy. And it's like, man, it doesn't help his case, so to speak, because we seen Shanahan lead a team with Garoppolo to Super Bowl. And then we see how bad Jimmy Garoppolo actually is when he wasn't under Kyle Shanahan. So now it's like, Brock, you led us to Super Bowl. Yes, you've been playing good ever since you've got the starter position. But it's like, if he, like, say Trent Williams isn't playing, say you lose Ayuk, maybe Debo gets hurt or something, because he's usually banged up throughout the season the way they use him. If Brock Purdy falters, and then you have the Super Bowl hangover, on top of that, now come off-season talks, I don't know if Brock Purdy's going to be a greedy person, but it's like, you might not be able to go get as much money as you want. Because it's like, oh, he's kind of exposed. Like, this really is a Shanahan thing. Now, I'm not saying he's not good, but it's like, we have a lot of evidence now saying that Shanahan really is the key in making this offense go with his schemes. Because anybody, it seems you can plug and play and, look good while doing it. So it's like, is Brock Purdy, because I don't know if you've seen some reports, he's been on record now saying, like, he kind of wants to, like, he felt like he's not been on a leash, but he's been on a leash, like, just stay within the system. But he's talked about this year, he wants to showcase, like, yeah, I am a really good quarterback. I can do this and I can do that. It's like, okay, you start throwing a little more interceptions than you did the past couple years. You start losing a couple more games. Everybody's going to be looking at you, really weird, because it's like they didn't believe in you from the start because of Shanahan. You start trying to be superhero. It's like, okay, Brock, You might have to take a few steps back. Because there's also another report that came out a couple weeks ago. I forget what it was, but it was some play in the playoffs where he threw an interception and they asked him about it in the interview. And he basically threw his teammate under the bus. He's like, yeah, no. Sheaver read the wrong coverage. That's why you see me yelling. Like, as a QB1, franchise QB, like, I get it. That is the case. But you can't say that. You gotta take that one on the chin and be like, oh, that's on me. Like, I just read it wrong. We'll be better about it moving forward. He just straight up threw the receiver under the bus. Was like, yeah, no, he read it wrong, made the wrong, hot route. I threw the ball where he was supposed to go. That's not on me. It's like, okay.
Shit, he playing for free. Might as well.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So that's what I'm saying. Everything, like, it just seems like there's too much going on over there where I feel like a Super Bowl hangover is in the works. Now, obviously, in the NFC, they should still make the playoffs. But I feel like a lot of teams in the NFC got better. Green Bay got better. Jordan Love, he just got paid. Like we always talk about, we think he's going to be good. Detroit Lions got better. Like, Chicago, they could possibly be good. I'm not going to, say they're going to be good and, like, put all this, like, oh, they got to be great. But they got talent. And Caleb Williams, he looked damn good in his first preseason game. So there's there. You got the Eagles who seem to be reloaded. Can they, get back on track? So there's teams that are talented and that were right there with them. Because it's not like they just ran through their playoff games last year. They should have lost both of them, in the NFC playoffs if we keep it in the buck. But they came back. Credit to them. And now this year it's like, you just got back to the Super Bowl again. Lost to the same team again. Had a double-digit lead again. That monkey is on their back. And now with each loss, each falter during their season, that pressure just builds and builds and builds. And that's a lot to weigh on you as you go out throughout a 17-week NFL season. And that's why I just generally think, like, I don't think they're going to win the NFC West this year. I think it's going to be the Los Angeles Rams. Because last year, I didn't think they were going to be good. But Sean McVay and that staff, they know how to draft. And they know how to scout. I'll give them that, goddammit.
Mm-hmm.
They be finding gems out of nowhere. Needles in the haystack. They nail all of their draft picks, it seems like. And they were super young last year. Got that playoff experience. As long as Stafford stays healthy, I think the Rams have a chance to be in contention for first or second place in the NFC this upcoming year. Now, that's with Stafford being healthy. I know that is also a big if because he's older now. He's been prone to concussions in recent years. So that definitely could get derailed. But if he stays healthy, if Cooper Kupp is able to stay relatively healthy, I know Puka's kind of banged up in training camp as well. There's been a lot of injuries in training camp this last week and a half, it seems like. But if they're healthy, Kyron Williams returning. They got Blake Corum, who I think is going to be a really good running back in the McVay system. That offense is going to be scary. And that defense, yes, they lost Aaron Donald, but I think the defense is going to be, pretty good. Yeah. Like, obviously, you just lost a Hall of Famer, so there's no replacing that. But like I said, they drafted well. Their 2 rookie defensive linemen they got last year had great rookie seasons. I'm sure they'll build on that in their sophomore year. Like, watch out for the Rams. And like I said, I think, personally, like, I'm not mad if someone says, like for me, Andy Reid deserves #1 head coach in the league right now. And people give a lot of credit to Shanahan, so I'm not mad if you put him at 2. But for me, I got Sean McVay at 2. He's the same type of wizard I think Shanahan is, and he's got the Super Bowl win. Now, granted, that could just very well be that because the Chiefs choked that year and he didn't have to play Patrick Mahomes, that he got that Super Bowl. But they did it. They won it. That's what we playing for at the end of the day. The goal is the Super Bowl. He got it done. And so he's got that over Shanahan in my eyes. So I give him the nod there. But like I said, I'm not mad if you make the argument either or. But I think the Rams are going to be – I think they're going to be really good this year. For real, for real. So.
Yeah. Besides D'Amico, I said it before, besides D'Amico, Sean McVay is one of my favorite head coaches in the league right now. I think he's one of the best head coaches in the league right now. Also, like you say, he's just a wizard when it comes to offense, man. He knows how to play call. And I don't know if y'all seen, but go look up some videos. He remembers every single thing. Like he can tell you like what play happened in like a game in like 2015 and what exact play call, what it was, whatever, and stuff like that. Who was playing in the game, what formation they was in. So yeah, that's that's another thing he's good at. But the Rams, I could definitely see if they can give the 49ers run for their money for first. Like you said, Matthew Stafford, he is kind of on the older side, but he's still one of the top quarterbacks in the league. He can still, throw the rock around. So as long as they got, their receivers healthy, like, Kupp and Puka, like you said, Puka's dealing with, an injury or whatever. Hopefully that doesn't linger. Most of the time it does linger. So that's tough. But if he can, just stay somewhat healthy throughout the whole year, they should be fine. And like you said, that defense, they just be finding gems left and right. I'm ready to see Jared Verse, whatever, from I believe he went to Florida State. I'm ready to see how he plays with that defense next to name is that defensive tackle that they had or right end that went off last year, Kobe
Turner.
Yeah, Kobe Turner. Yeah. So yeah, I want to see him, next to him. And then, they also, got Trey White or whatever out there. But he hasn't really been the same since.
Yeah, he's been health and age kind of
which is tough because I always thought he was like even like his LSU days, I always thought he was like a really good corner or whatever. But this Rams team is definitely a team to watch out for. So yeah, I can definitely see him giving the Niners a run for their money for first place.
For sure. And like, man, I guess the one thing we could say, like, okay, maybe pause a bit, or maybe something to worry about. They did lose their defensive coordinator, Raheem Morris, who's now the head coach of Atlanta. So that is a big thing. But like I said, Sean McVay, I think, is just a really good coach. He runs a franchise well. Like, how we just said Harbaugh in the AFC West episode, like we said, Harbaugh is, he builds a great team. He knows how to build a team. I feel like Sean McVay, the way they draft, the way they develop players, they know how to build a team. And so while, yes, it sucks that they lost their defensive coordinator, I don't think the drop-off is going to be that big for them. And that offense, as long as they stay healthy, I think they're going to be putting up some prolific numbers. Because, I mean, if we want to – I feel like I'm not messing up here as a starting QB because Garoppolo has a ring too, technically, which fun enough, Garoppolo's backup now over there in Los Angeles. Yeah. But besides Patrick Mahomes, Stafford is the only Super Bowl winning QB within the last decade. Like Russ and Aaron Rodgers are the only other two active QBs with the Super Bowl ring. But Rodgers was like 2010. Russ was 2013. Like that's over 10 plus years ago.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, while you say like top 5 quarterback discussions come up. So obviously Pat, Allen, Burrow, now Stroud, Lamar, like Hurts. Like all these quarterbacks come up. But Stafford has literally been there, done that, and he's got experience. And then obviously we seen him in Detroit. He was amazing. He just didn't have a good team. He immediately goes to Los Angeles and wins the Super Bowl. Like when he's healthy, Stafford has every right to say he's a top 10, top 8 QB in this league. Arguably top 5, whether you want to, believe it or not. But he's got the argument to make for it with the stats and just longevity and stuff. So yeah. Watch out for the Rams, man. Watch out for Sean McVay. If the 49ers end up falling off kind of a little semi-cliff a little bit this year, the Rams take off right then and there. And I think those two teams for sure both make the playoffs. As for the last 2 teams in the NFC West, we'll start with Seattle. This one, I'm not too sure. Like, I don't know. They obviously got rid of Pete Carroll. They get Macdonald, former defense coordinator for Baltimore, had Baltimore the number 1 defense in the league that year. Cool. But like we've always said, or we've been saying recently, defensive-minded coaches in today's league just aren't necessarily a recipe for success unless you have a really great offensive coordinator and you have a good QB or a great QB. I mean, Geno Smith is good. He's decent, average, some might say. He had one great year in his age 34 season 2 years ago, and then last year reverted right back to the same Geno we've known him as his whole career, which was essentially a career backup. You got DK Metcalf, who obviously uber talented, but it's like I just don't think I was against them giving Geno Smith the contract extension. I thought they should have went and drafted a quarterback and like gave Geno one more year and it's like, okay, hey, like if you don't lead us anywhere type deal, like an Alex Smith situation, the quarterback we drafted, now he's got a year to study under you. Now he's up. They didn't do that. So now it's like it's kind of like how we felt similar to like Broncos or Raiders. What exactly are you doing, with some of the offseason moves you made? Last year you were 9-8. You didn't really do anything to improve, I think, like to get to 10-7 this year. If anything, I feel like the Seahawks might regress. So like I said, it's Macdonald's first year as a head coach. We don't know how that's going to be. Well, yes, he led a number one defense. Head coach is completely different from being a defensive coordinator. I'm not saying he's going to be like him, but look at Robert Saleh in New York Jets. They got a whole dumpster fire going on down there. And at one point in time, he was a defensive coordinator of the number one defense in the 49ers years ago. So it's just like, it's not promise. They also have a first year offensive coordinator, a guy named Brian Grubb. So like, what are y'all really going to do? What noise are y'all really going to make? I think they might end up in last place in that NFC West this year. Because I think, I want to say, was it Rashad Penny that retired? I think they lost him.
Yeah, Rashad Penny.
And Kenneth Walker has been good, but like he's also, faces injury. His first couple years, he hasn't necessarily had a fully healthy season for real. Yeah. So it's just like, this is going to be an uphill battle. And you, like I said, you got the 49ers. Well, yes, I said they could beat a Super Bowl slump. They're still got all the talent in the world. I think they have the most top 100 players with like 9 of them this year. They're not going anywhere. They'll still be in contention. And then, like we said, the Rams, maybe you're able to still squeak in the playoffs if you have a decent enough record in the NFC. But I just don't see that happening for the Seahawks this year at all.
Yeah. I'm somewhat with you. I think they'll still be competitive, but I think it's going to be like competitive to where they only win like 9 games, 8 games type of team. Like you said, I didn't like the contract extension that Geno had got. It's a great story, don't get me wrong, but I didn't think he was necessarily worth all that money. I felt like if you was gonna pay him that money, at least have a backup plan, like draft a younger quarterback like after that, after the fact, whatever. But they still haven't done that. So yeah, I really don't know what they're going. I really don't know what the plan is for the future for that for that position. I know Sam Howell sure as hell is not the answer for the future. So that's gonna be tough or whatever. Yeah, I mean, if they keep going with these 8-9 wins, DK can't be that happy. He can't be happy with that at all. So that definitely watch out. That's gonna be like a story one of these off seasons. You never know.
I think it get very well because I'm like, because now you see all these receivers getting paid too. Like he had got a contract extension, but now he's not even in the top 5, I think, anymore. Maybe not even top 10 for highest annual average pay. They start off let them start off 0-4, and maybe he not even getting the ball like he thinks he should. Who's to say he's not like, okay, I love Seattle, y'all drafted me, but the coach that drafted me is now gone. We got a new coach. Yeah. Things aren't going well. I'm forcing my way out of here. Like I want to be traded somewhere else contender, get a new contract extension. Like that could very well happen.
Mm-hmm.
The one thing I think like is an X factor maybe, and it's really just going off of his college years because we got some glimpses last year, but he was kind of injured. We need to see it. Can Smith and Jigba Jr. can he be can he be what he was at Ohio State? I think he can.
I think he can. Yeah.
But I also don't think Geno is going to unlock his maximum potential as well. So that's why I agree like what you just said. Like you should have had a backup plan because while it was a great story, Geno was never the answer.
Yeah, he was never the answer.
And so now you got rid of Pete Carroll, but like you still got Geno. The problem is still there. He's not leading y'all anywhere. It was just a really good story that started off with like the perfect start to the story that year, a couple years ago, because he beat Russ. Yeah. Russ's first game was against Seattle Monday night. And it was only because of Hackett's, messing up the play clock and not managing it well to get in the field goal range that they won that game. But that kick started everything. It's like, oh my God, Geno, like he led us to the playoffs. He beat Russ. Like, let's give him a contract extension. It's like, dog, he's 34. This was his first year in the league at 34. You gonna pay him crazy. That? Like, come on. Crazy. Like, I know it's still nothing compared to like what the top quarterbacks are getting. But if you were gonna extend, like you have a backup plan because that was never it. That was never it at all, and you kind of handicapped your franchise a bit because you potentially could have moved off him this year. Shit, I was really thinking from what we saw last year, I was thinking maybe Drew Lockett maybe turned like a step, and like he had gotten better. He looked good when he was able to get in when Geno was hurt, but he left in the offseason. So now it's like y'all really have no backup plan, and you're genuinely going with let's ride with Geno with the rookie offensive coordinator and a rookie head coach. That, like, sometimes, like, y'all, last year, outlier. CJ, rookie quarterback, rookie head coach, D'Amico, balling. I don't see that happening with a 35-year-old now, Geno Smith, and a first-time defensive mind. I just don't see that happening. I'm sorry. Yeah. Especially in that division. So it's like, Seattle, I'm assuming you kind of entered the rebuild. You fired Carroll. That's the end of, that tenure. You got Macdonald in. What's your backup plan, though, now? Like, who are you trying to groom to be quarterback? Because Geno is not the franchise guy. He is just the placeholder. But what are you using him as a placeholder for? They need to figure that out. And maybe that's something they figure out, as the season goes. Maybe they start bad. They start tanking because Shador is coming up. I don't know if Shador would want to play in Seattle because, they said, like, oh, we only got specific places we gonna let him play.
Yeah, that's what Deion said. Deion said he only playing in domes. He said him and Travis. They only playing in domes. Only dome. That's it.
I wonder what that means.
I wonder what that means.
Come on, man. But yeah, they need some type of backup plan for real. I don't know, like who that will be in the draft that they're possibly looking at, but they got to do something because Geno is not it. And that's definitely going to come back to bite them in the butt.
The crazy thing about it, I think Seattle fans actually like really love Geno. Like, I think they actually
probably do. And I'm not even saying Geno not a good guy.
Yeah, I'm not saying he's not a good guy either. I just don't think he's good of a quarterback
That's it.
Trust him, man. But hey, more power to y'all.
More power to you, for real. And then the last team in the NFC West, y'all, the Arizona Cardinals. Now, this team, I secretly think
it's a sleeper.
Okay,
it's a sleeper. I ain't gonna lie, bro. When I was watching them last year and they was playing the Texans, I'm like, bro, this team is low key kind of nice. Like, but I just don't know what they're missing. Like, I just can't like. Maybe the real deal was like the head coach or whatever, but I don't know what they're missing. Something's like put them over the edge. There's something that they're missing, but the Cardinals, they're a sleeper team. They really are.
I think they are too. I think Kyler Murray. Like, I get it. He hasn't had the best start to NFL season. He was the number one pick in the draft, former Heisman winner, but like. Any Texas dude knows.
Oh, yeah.
Kyler Murray is that dude. And I feel like he was low-key, like, he was only drafted first, I think, because Cliff Kingsbury took the job and wanted him. But I also think that screwed him because I don't think Cliff Kingsbury had any business being an NFL head coach, and his tenure showed that. So, like, I think now with the new head coach last year, like Murray came back from the ACL and like, he was just getting his legs back under him. Now he's got an off season. I think Jonathan Gannon is actually a really good coach because you've seen how bad that, Eagles defense was without him. And then you've seen flashes of like the Cardinals, like their defense was kind of decent last year. And for a minute there, they was being really competitive with Dobbs at quarterback.
Yeah.
So like they have potential and they're a sleeper. Can they put it together? Like you said, they're just missing something. And I feel like they don't have like a name brand guy on defense. Like Buda Baker's cool, but he's not like Buda's cool, but like he's older now. But they don't have like someone that's just like they need someone on the defensive line. I feel like a defensive edge for real. Like they said this wasn't Gannon's doing, but remember they drafted or was it draft? They traded for Isaiah Simmons, I think, or did they draft him?
They drafted Isaiah Simmons.
Well, they were like, oh, we're gonna use him though, like everywhere. He'll be linebacker, defensive end. We might even put him at safety a little bit. And that experiment it didn't go too well. So they need a piece on the defense. But I think Kyler is gonna be really good. Yes. They got what's the speedy little receiver Dortch, I think his name is. Mm-hmm. He's nice when you can get the ball in his hands in space. Marvin Harrison Jr., I mean, dude is a dog. I think he's gonna be great. And like I think Murray, he got a chip on his shoulder because he got paid. And then he didn't, play well after getting paid. And of course, they had the Call of Duty jokes and whatnot.
Yeah, people talk bad about him.
They talk bad about him, but like, I think he I'm not saying he's gonna be like the Kyler we know from high school football, college Kyler, but like the dude can play football. He always has been able to. Yeah, I think Gannon's gonna be a good coach for them. They are sleeper, I think, because there's always a team that goes. I'm not saying they're gonna get first. But there's those teams that go from worst to first in some division every year. They were worst, and they've been bad for a couple years now. They could potentially make some noise and maybe squeak in there in a 7 seed, I feel like, in the NFC with the right record. And they get the right upset games. So definitely, like, don't sleep on them too much. Don't be surprised, like, if they do make some noise. But like I said, Murray full off season now, coming off the ACL injury. He should be feeling, back to 100% himself for real. Marvin Harrison Jr., wide receiver 1. And then they got Trey Benson in the backfield, which I think is a solid pickup. So they should be decent. They should be decent. And they got a good foundation moving forward. Who knows what they can do? Because like you said, like we're thinking they're a sleeper team. No one's going to necessarily be expecting them. Or you see Cardinals on the schedule. It's not like you don't get up for every game, but some teams might not get up for that game. And then you'll see things where like, oh snap. They upset the Cowboys or something. Like they upset this team. Like they can do that. Mm-hmm. And next thing you know, they're sitting here 8-7 headed into the last couple weeks of the season. It's like, oh snap. Can the Cardinals squeak into the playoffs? Nobody saw this coming. So I think you're right. Sleeper team for sure. I completely agree. Sky's the limit for them. They got a lot of room to grow, but they got key pieces and key spots. They just need 1 to 2 more guys. Like they need some dogs. Yeah. If they can find some dogs, I don't know. These get interesting. And that's another thing where it's like they could be one of those teams that potentially like where some of these guys want to get traded, maybe. Before the trade deadline to start the season, they're a potential spot. They got some cap space. They need, some star players. Maybe they can get a guy. And maybe, I'm not saying DK Metcalf would, but like maybe DK Metcalf wants to go play with a Kyler Murray. Mm-hmm. Who knows? He'll be opposite Marvin Harrison Jr. Marvin Harrison Jr. is a rookie. They got him on a rookie contract. They could pay Metcalf. That's a tough-ass combo at wide receiver. Like that I just made that up on the spot. I don't even know if that can happen, contractually speaking, but like they have potential to make a move like that, is what I'm saying. And that could be scary when you add, someone with Kyler's talent and what we think he could be. So I'm excited. I'm not sleeping on. I'm right there with you. As soon as you said, like, oh, we on the same page with this one, because they shown a few hints last year. It was like the Cardinals.
They scrappy, bro. They scrappy. They scrappy, bro. They
was fucking up some of my parlays with the spread. Like, okay, why y'all playing this hard, man? Like, what's up? And like you said, that was with the backup quarterback. Now you got Kyler back for real. Like, okay, they might be able to do something a little bit and surprise some teams. So I believe in it. I believe in it, man. Yeah. But that wraps up the NFC West. We appreciate y'all if y'all listen all the way through. Like I said, we're gearing up for the season. We got some special stuff in store for season 3 of I Needed Sports Podcast. NFL season is starting back up. We will have the full squad back on, but hope y'all enjoy the episode just like the old times with my dog Kam. Just us two back and forth chopping it up about ball, how all of this started for real. If y'all watch this, go back and watch the first episode we ever did and then compare it to us right now, because that shit is hilarious. You'll get a good laugh. It's very cringeworthy just hearing how nervous he was on the mics. I can't even watch it for real. Like 1 minute past, like just listen to that shit. It's like, why we sound like that? Why we seem so nervous? But yeah, man, we 3 years in now. I still feel like we just getting started, but I'm excited for the year to come, bro. Man. It's gonna be a good year, man. It's gonna be a good year. I think we just hit 130 subscribers. So shout out to you, shout out to Chris, shout out to Swan. Everybody that's subscribed, showed love to the channel throughout the past couple of years. We appreciate y'all. We keeping this thing rolling, and we just getting better and better. And this year is gonna be special, man. It's gonna be special. We're gonna be back with a weekly schedule, weekly episodes, live weekly episodes. We're gonna be bringing y'all the winning bets once again. You know what I'm saying? We're going for a 3rd year of bringing y'all positive money on the year. It's all coming. It's all in store, man. So just stay tuned. Keep up with your favorite kids from the neighborhood. Y'all already know what it is. It's your favorite signing out. Peace.
Yes, sir.